And today we have with us Scott from Illinois, who's been on who started the Prevagen program just a few months ago. And it's interesting to note that initially on the memory assessment that was given, he initially scored a 68, and now having been on the program for a few months with consistency, his most recent score has registered at an 85. That is a profound change. So Scott, if you wouldn't mind sharing what kind of changes you've experienced, what you've realized since being on the program.
Well, I started the program about 5.5 months ago. I initially was interested in it because I did have a problem with remembering things. And I didn't know the extent that I had the problem until I started getting better in my process of my memory. In December, I was very concerned because I would sit in the family room and I was not able to remember the lady who cleans my teeth at the dentist office. She'd been doing it for over 20 years, and my mind was blank, literally blank. There was nothing there. And other incidences that was going on in my life, making a lot of notes, not being able to remember, looking at numbers and just writing them down on a piece of paper. I'd have to look back at them. So I decided I'd try the Prevagen. So I started taking it, and over a period of time, with not even really realizing it, I actually started getting a clearer mind, a sharper thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Things were coming back, and it was just a gradual everyday life, just as easily as it went into the aspect of not having the sharpness that I had. Now it's coming back, and now that my memory is being restored, I'm able to see how far away I was from where I would be a healthy mind.
Mm-hmm.
Little aspects that I would do would be when I'd write out my bills, transferring the check numbers to my billing statements as I keep a record of them. I would literally just have to look back at it. I'd catch myself doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember the check number without a problem.
Wow.
Other instances at work, the process of the various numbers I have to use in product numbers and codes and stuff. It was a continual looking back and forth. Where now it's I recall memory.
Mm-hmm.
Going to get a spool for my weed eater, the new string. I now will look at the model number of my weed eater, and I can remember it as I go to the local hardware store to pick it up. Where before it was I'd have to write it down, or I'd just totally forget about it.
Mm.
And recalling where objects are, it pops. Things will pop out very clearly. A few months back, I had coupons, and I had an extra coupon, and I laid it in my driver's seat of my car, amongst with other papers. So I went to retrieve the coupon, and it wasn't there. And I thought, well, I must have inadvertently picked it up amongst with the other papers and threw it away. And as I was doing something later on that day or the next day, all of a sudden in my mind it just come out as clear as a bell where I put that coupon.
Mm.
It was just things like that.
So it's just a lot of little incidental things that you wouldn't really think were that enormous or that important, but there were quite a lot of things that were affecting your day on a daily basis, and that you had adapted to these changes unbeknownst to you. You didn't even realize how faulted your memory was until it started to improve.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that December that you spoke about, that was just about 5 months ago,
right,
wasn't it?
That was December of 2011.
2011, quite a profound change in that short period of time. Would you recommend this to anyone or someone other than yourself? I mean,
yes. I mean, it works. I highly recommend it. I didn't really think I had much of a problem. I knew that there was a problem, but until you start becoming healthier, then you realize how much of a problem you really had, because you adapt. It's amazing. I find myself adapting in many ways, and now that I'm performing along a more normal avenue, I catch myself how I have adapted over time.
Indeed.
One little aspect I did when I was writing an address, a P.O. box on an envelope, I was writing the P.O. box number down, and then of course the address of the city and the zip code, and of course after the zip code is the P.O. box number. I literally caught myself looking back at the billing statement to look at where the P.O. box number was, even though I knew what the P.O. box number was. And I realized then that was a coping ability that I had, because before I literally would have to go up there and use it as a crutch because I did not remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy, and I've continued on, and I'm excited to see what will happen within a year.
Indeed, we've seen a lot of progress just over the last few months. And you're quite a young individual, and a lot of people unfortunately think that mental challenges or the brain health isn't something that is affected until much, much later on in life. However, due to the environment in which we live, which includes the toxins that we're breathing in and eating and ingesting, the food sources that we're getting, and certainly the amount of stress that we're laden with, is resulting in these types of these manifestations in all of us. So, Scott, you would then recommend it to individuals of your own peers?
Yes, I would.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would benefit many people.
Okay. Well, thank you very much once again for sharing that information with us, and hopefully you'll continue in your progress.
Thank you.